Hi everyone, and welcome back to Studying the Masters with Alicia Dianne Art. I am Alicia Dianne, and we're going to be continuing with Marissa Valdez. That's the artist who we've been studying for the last week. So we're going to continue, and I'm going to open up my Photoshop window. Hope you guys are having a good week. My week has been fairly pleasant for the most part, I have to say. I'm going to see what we can do here, see how much color we can get in, how much texture we can get in. I think it'll be a fun one. So let me go to my Photoshop window. Okay, here we are, Photoshop. This is where we left off. We're working on an illustration from, it's called Hattie. What is the name of it? Something Hattie. Let me find the name of it. Hattie Harmony. It's Hattie Harmony, and I think this one is a specific, it's like some kind of performance night. So anyway, I'm gonna keep moving. I'm gonna start with flooding the characters, I think. Let's see. Let me check out my layers. So I have my character layer here. Nobody has that outline on it. What am I on? Okay, I have this. Maybe like Photoshop had an update that I'm not aware of. Okay, so I have this on one layer. Alright, so I'm going to name my layers. So I'm going to put the ground plane here. This is going to be the background objects. And I have my characters. And let's go ahead and put these three in one folder. And I'll call this the roughs. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to, should I make a new layer? Let's make a new layer underneath the roughs. So this one will be, I almost picked up my regular pen to draw with. So this one will be for the characters. I think I'm going to turn that character opacity down just a bit. Let's put it to 50. No, maybe a little bit more. 60. Oops. Alrighty. Maybe even a little bit more. Just because I still have those background elements. Alright, I think I'll leave it here. And let's close this up and let's see. Alright, so I might use more than one layer for the characters, but let's see. I might not need to. So let's just go ahead and start with their bodies. And see how far we can get. I'm already seeing that some of it is going outside of where I would like it to go in the line. So I might just go ahead and pull that out. Let's see where I'm going here. Alrighty. Let's see. I'm going to remove some of this. Alright, so let's find the color that we're looking for. And for the original image, you can always go to the artist's Instagram. She is, like I said, Marissa Valdez. And the original color, like the base color, is a little bit like a desaturated, sort of a brown. Let's see. That's not it. Let's see. Okay. And I think I might want to, let's see, maybe I'll take the characters out of here. Maybe I'll take them out. Let's see. Let's see how it works just focusing on these guys for right now. It might, I think it's just like a little too distracting with all that other stuff going on. Let's see. And I'll lock this to make sure that I'm not coloring on that one. Let's see. And I do think I'm gonna put their clothes on a different layer just to help me when I'm doing all of the texture and all that, so that it doesn't get in the way. Sometimes you might not necessarily need to put them on a different layer, just depend on how much is going on. But I think for me, as what I'm doing here, I think I'd like to, for the most part, keep something else. Let's see. Let me see if I could find this character's color. Trying to find the base color. Let's see how this looks. Ooh, that's super yellow. That's not quite it. It still feels very, very yellow. That could be basically it here. Excuse me. Drop some water. So let's see what I wanted to talk about today. This week was, I don't know, it felt like a rough week. I did make it to the zoo though. That was pretty nice. Almost didn't make it because I wasn't sure if I wanted to go or not. But then I realized, like, man, why do I not do the things that I know I enjoy doing? I know I love going there, but sometimes it just feels like something's holding me back. I'm gonna turn the opacity down even more now. Lock that again. So I don't know why we do things like that, or we don't do things that we know are good for us. I'm gonna color in their eyes. I like to color in their eyes fairly early just because it feels like, I don't know, it feels a little weird to me when they're not colored in. Now I not remember how to make a perfect circle. I thought you just hold down shift, but perhaps that is not the way. Let's see. Oh, let's see what we can do here. I really love this illustration though, I'll say that much. There's something about the way that she does the characters that just feels really like personable. Really personable and nice. I'll put the clothes on a separate layer. And I want to take in mind that the clothes have a little bit of, you know, they're not exactly going to be the same as the body. Some of them might go up a little bit. Let's see. Even that tutu I might put on a separate layer. Because there's a lot of texture in there. But I think I can put like the characters, like each of their clothes together, just like they have their skins together. So I don't think it would be too distracting. Let's see. It's like a, trying to understand the type of fabric that's going on here and the type of clothes that this character's wearing. It's not like regular. It's not like just like a tank top. It's it's like a whole jacket. Let's see. Let's see what we got going on here. And you know what? I think possibly for today, I'm just gonna do the flats. Orange. So it's like a reddish. Maybe there. Let's see. A little bit lighter. Still. Let's see. Okay. Red. Sometimes it's finding like the right colors can be like a game. I mean, obviously I could use like a color picker, but I like to try and get better at finding colors, and that little color picker doesn't help you get any stronger at that. So I like to try and eyeball it if I can. Let's see. It's like a denim color over here. Let's see, denim. It looks so sad. The poor little cat is just not happy. Oh. But it's good acting though. That's like one of those things I've talked about before when people are doing illustration for either comics or, you know, books like this, like incorporating some of those animation techniques, like especially like character acting, I think makes a big difference. It makes a character look like they're feeling whatever's going on. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna, let's see. Character clothes. And I'm gonna do one for the tutu. But one thing that I can kind of, I think I can talk about today that's kind of on my mind is my experience with teaching. I'm nearing the end of, how long has it been? A couple years that I've been working in teaching. And it feels a little bit weird. It feels a little bit strange for me. It's a big change. And I'm not really sure what to expect next. So I'm definitely in a transition period. I'm leaving on my own accord and not at the same time. So that feels weird. I felt like I was getting nudged out. So that's why I just decided, you know, I'm just gonna leave. Because I don't like that feeling of like when you're not sure if you're wanted someplace, then it just feels like icky, you know? Like, like, okay, I'm not sure about how I feel here. I don't feel. It's a little bit more desaturated than that. Take it down. Let's try that. That feels about right. Okay. So, I don't know. Sometimes you have to decide to leave a place even if, like, it just sucks like when you like something and then it gets like kind of taken from you. That's what it feels like. I don't know if I broke a mirror at some point, but I feel like I'm having a lot of I feel like I'm having a lot of bad luck this year. I don't know. I don't know if it's in my head or what. But I feel like this is just, I don't want to like jinx anything either, cuz I have a lot of like things that I'm grateful for sure. But I'm just like, man, why are there so many things that it feels like are not going as planned? Her arm is a little bit different here. Let me change this. Her arm comes out a little bit differently. Get that. Once I pick the color, it's okay to go back and use the eyedropper. But it's about picking that color the first time. I like to kind of use my eye. But after that, please. It's no longer necessary. Let's see. All right. So getting back into the subject at hand. I don't know. It just feels strange, I guess. So what do you do next when you are at a crossroads in your career? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that term crossroads. Like, what does it even mean? I think I'm just like still, I think I talked about this before. Still, it's just like about finding where you fit in sometimes. It's like, get in somewhere. Get in somewhere. That's how it feels. I'm going to start just adding texture. Let's see with the clipping mask. Alright, so what I want to do is find a nice charcoal that I like. Let's see how this one goes. That feels kind of small. Maybe I can make it bigger. I'm not sure if this is the one I'm gonna want to use, but I just want to I don't know if it's just too small or it's just not the right brush. No, it doesn't feel like the right brush that I want. Let's see. I don't know how people make brushes. I just don't, my brain doesn't wrap around it or something. I just don't get it. Let's see this one. No. I have that one of my favorite brushes, but it's just not the right brush right now. I want to find, let's see, my Air & Blaze brushes. Let's see. There's some really, let's see. Let's try this. I really like this one. I've used this one before a few times. You know, let's see how much back and forth I'm gonna have to do to get the color I'm looking for. Does it bend the right way? Let's see. Let's try this. It's definitely too small. Let's see. I still don't feel like I'm quite getting what I'm looking for. Let's see. Somewhere in the middle. Let's see how much I can blend it to give it the look I want it to have. I think it's starting to get there a bit. Which one am I even using? Pastel B. And there's also like some bit of warmer. Let's see. It does get a little bit warmer like by the nose, which is good, is then, you know, you always want to have a little bit of warmth in certain areas. And she has like a whole other cover coming, like coming on top of that horn there. I'll add that in after I finish doing all of this over here. Should be more gray. That feels actually kind of speckly, so I don't know if I have a brush like that on here, but let's see. Maybe if I take the opacity way down. I don't want it to look. It's a little bit too high up, I think. Or around here. then she's got that blush. Not super bright. Not so bright. Let's see. All right, it's not bad. I think I need to make her forehead a bit lighter. Let's see. Just trying to find all the different little colors that are in here. Even if some of them are more subtle. I never really used this sort of like speckling type of method so far, but I feel like it's kind of working for this. Let's see. Definitely she's got something like that going on for the feet, but I want to try and get that warmer color in there first. And darker still. Alright, so how do you make a transition? I think it's always like, if you can make a transition with someone else, try to. For me, it's like, it's so hard to like find people, but it's still possible, and I just want to like reiterate that you can find people. Like, if you are going through a transition in your life or in your career, try your best to not do it by yourself. I think that is what gets us stuck a lot of the time. You know, at least it seems that way for me. I feel like it's easy to get stuck when you're trying to do everything by yourself. So your mind is not your friend, I'll tell you that much. That's one thing I've heard, and I'm like, that is very accurate. Your mind will play all kinds of different tricks if you let it. Let's see. Let's see. I think some really light little specklies happening back here. Some of them I can tell are like done by hand, just like the little one dots, but I think there's a few that are beyond that. Let's see if I can make this a little bit lighter. Her cheeks, I want them to be a little bit lighter. Okay, that's coming along. But it feels like there's something missing. I don't know if it's still a long way from the end, but it still feels like Maybe I'm missing something that's happening and I don't want to do that. Alright, I'm gonna make another clipping mask and try and work on that. I know I have some watercolor brushes in here, but no, I don't use them. So I'm worried. I need to just like practice in general with my watercolor and all my brushes in Photoshop. I don't use that much lately. Because I've almost entirely transitioned to Procreate at this point. Haven't we all? I don't know, it's so much easier. It's so much like user-friendly, or like, I don't know what the right word is. I know a lot of people have been using like clip paint and all that other kind of stuff, but I've always just stuck to Photoshop until like Procreate now. I'm like, maybe I could do that. Oh, this feels strange. Let's see. I don't know how I feel. Is there another? Let's see, this cold pressed watercolor texture, but I don't feel it. Let's see. Maybe that's just too big. Let's take that brush down. I think this can work, this one. Let's try this. Yeah, this one is kind of nice. We need to go over it with another darker color. Let's see. Because I can tell it's a watercolor brush being used for that horn. I think it was done in Procreate, but still, my horn is not big enough. I'm noticing now. I need to make my horn thicker. Let's see if that works. I think we can try with that for now. Let's see. All right. And just for the sake of my own sanity, I want to add, I want to start adding a little bit of that pencil line because, I don't know, it just starts bugging me if I don't have anything to relate to. So I'm going to start adding a little bit of pencil line on the over the top. Different layer than my, I'm going to bring these, let's see, I'm going to put these as background offs. Drag that down. Alright, so I have my characters here. I'm just working on the rhino right now. And I think I want to keep it like that. Let's see, get black. If I can remember which one I like to use for my brush, I think it's this one. Let's see, bring it down. It's a little too thick though. I noticed that the pupil feels a little bit flat, but I still think I made it too big. Let's see. It's a little bit flat on the edge. What I think I want to do is add even more white for the eye on this layer so that it's not overcolored by the texture and stuff I have on the other layers, and I can see it more clearly. I think for children's literature and for animation, I kind of feel like, and of course people deviate from this, but I feel like no matter what your color palette is, you can always go straight black and white with the eyes because you really want those eyes to stand out. I mean, some people add little variants of, you can add like blues and purples and stuff to, like, you know, give them more riz or whatever you want to call it. But I think it's kind of nice to sometimes stick to that classic black and white because, I don't know, it never really looks bad. I mean, it always kind of works because it makes the eyes just pop regardless. All right. So we have a little something with the eyes. We have the start of some pencil line going. I'm gonna make that one even a little bit more. Just trying to be all of it is. Am I going too far with it though? I don't want to make the eyes too big. Try and get them to be just right, but we'll see. Okay, I'm going to try and find some of those other colors that are in this image. So that green color she's using for the glasses, that's a nice pop color, like pop out. You want to have a couple of colors that are going to stand out beyond everything else. And she does a really like scribbly sort of line with it too, which I think is fun. Remember, like with children's book illustration, you can have some fun with it. You can be a little bit playful and imperfect. And I think it kind of relates back or echoes back to like children's drawings, like the imperfections of children's drawings. And it allows the artist to kind of put themselves in the shoes of a child in a certain sense as well at the same time. I think it does that. This one actually though should be a little higher up than the other one. I love these colors that she uses though. Okay. She does like some little braids. It looks like little braids. And very sort of sketchy. Let's see this, because this little ball is like the same color. Way darker than that. Alright. I think she's gone just pure black with the mouth and the nose, the nostrils. Oh, that's cute. That really makes it pop out. What is over here? So think about that, like when you're using certain colors and you really want something to, like little parts to stand out, I think that can really come in handy when you're using just like black. Let's see. I think I'll even put her little toes and stuff on this layer. Remember, when you're doing this, it's really important to not compare yourself to whoever you're learning from. I think it's important just to keep in mind that it is a study and you're just trying to figure out more ways and more tools that you can add to your own creative box. So don't feel like, oh man, like this stuff is so much better than what I just do on my own. Just try and keep a perspective of like, all right, I like certain things that this artist is doing. You know, how can I incorporate some of that charm or whatever it is that you see. I think it's important to kind of learn from as many avenues as you can, first of all. And see what you can apply, and you know, if you don't want to apply anything, that's fine too. You can just see how they do what they do, how other artists do what they do. Let's see. I don't know if it's meant to be like a reflection of the dress, but the one on this side has a little bit of like pink in it. Trying to get the shape right. Okay. Find the bottoms of those feet. Let's see. Guess I'm gonna go into this little outfit here. All right. I'm trying to see which parts are. Some of these are like darker. Let's see. It doesn't exactly feel right. Let's see. I don't think any of these necessarily have to be done with one brush or another. You just have to find ones that you feel comfortable with. I think maybe the type of brush, you know, you want it to feel like whatever it is you're making. So I wouldn't get overly carried away with it, you know. I just worry more about like the contour. You can get really carried away with brushes if you let yourself like get too obsessed, and try not to do that. I mean, think about like if you're using traditional. It's gonna be a lot less about the brush you're using. Granted, you use different mediums, but still. I think that's probably why digital makes it more complicated, is because you're trying to cover all mediums that you would use, but like in one medium. Which is, seems impossible. It's just more complex. Alright. Go up to here. Let's find that pencil we had before. Is that the one? You might want to go even a little bit lighter with that. Just a little bit smaller too. Let's see. So this one is the name of the book. I think I forgot earlier. I mentioned the series, but I didn't mention the name of the book. So the book is called Opening Nights. I don't know why it just popped in my head just now. So if you guys are interested, it's a really super cute book. I bought it myself. She's kind of really loose with these, how she puts these on here. It's definitely no specific, you know, order. I'm guessing this is some sort of a sequence. So it's got these little sparkle bits. I'll go ahead and add in some of those little extra bits she has on her face, like some sparklies. Maybe she put glitter on, I don't know. Okay, let's see. Okay, we're getting someplace. Let's see what the tutu, what we want to add. So first of all, I want to mess up the edges a little bit. They're definitely not perfect edges, so let's try and mess around with them. Let's try the hairy brush. I think this part is important too when you're doing digital, is to make things not perfect or not so straight. I think adding a little bit of extra texture somehow in some places just makes it feel more traditional. Oh, I didn't even realize right there. That's where her, have to delete that on the line art part where the tutu is coming over. So I'll delete that. Alright, so let's add a little bit of texture. And while I'm here on line art, I'm gonna go ahead and fix some of this thing I'm seeing here. At some point you can just keep the original off. I think I might for the most of the rest of the rhino, but then turn it back on when I'm getting that initial drawings for the cat. And she does use like some straight black here. Let's see. And it's kind of sketchy too, the way it is. Alright. Make sure I save. Okay, let's go back to something here. I'm gonna add the belt in. I'm gonna add the belt in on this layer. This, it's like an orangey red color, and then I think the line extends a little bit up there, probably to separate the skirt from the back of her top. Let's go ahead and fill in some more of that tutu right here. let's see, tutu texture. See if I could find a hairy one. Let's see how this works. It feels kind of scratchy. I want it more like painterly, I think. Just see. That's doing absolutely nothing. Oh, it's a smudge. That's not what I want. It's too many brushes. I don't know if these are gonna work. I'm just gonna kind of experiment. Because I don't know. It's not looking how I want it to right now. That feels a little bit better. Let's try this. It doesn't feel big enough. Okay, and I'm going to grab a lighter color. Let's see how I like that on top. I feel like I need another type of brush. Let's see. One more of a wet texture. Oh, that's not it. Definitely not it. That one's not bad. Let's see. Natural brushes, wet media. Let's try wet media. Maybe this. Let's see. Ooh, that looks crazy. But maybe. Ooh, that feels very painterly. I want it to be. Ooh, no. That's not what I want. This could be kind of what I'm wanting. But I might need to go back and forth a bit with some of these. if I try again. I'm gonna make it bigger. Bigger and a little bit more transparent. No, why does it mess up when it's transparent? Maybe I'll just turn the layer more transparent. What if I turn the layer down to like, that could possibly work. And then there's a much lighter one. Let's see. Not that light. That one doesn't feel pink enough. That could be it. That could be what I'm trying to get at. I mean, it's not exact, but I kind of like it anyway. Maybe if I add in a couple of like pencil lines with it. It will feel more on the nose, maybe. I like that. That kind of fills in where it was missing for me. Sometimes you just gotta do it by hand. One at a time, little streaks. Okay. We definitely made some progress today. I know I wasn't as talkative as usual. It's just a lot in my head. I was gonna take the day off. Maybe I should have. Hopefully I wasn't overly boring. Hopefully. But you guys just let me know what you guys think of this illustration so far. If you guys follow Marissa Valdez. If you don't already, then yeah, you definitely should. She's definitely a very talented artist. I love her work. She's pretty young too. I think she's younger than I am. I don't know how these people get so talented, like, so young. I don't get it. Alright, well, this is where we are so far. So we're gonna just keep moving throughout. I'm gonna save it here. And we got most of our little rhino done. But, you know, we'll get there. No rush. That's the thing with art. You can't really rush it too much or you're just gonna mess it all up. Okay? So thank you all so much for joining me in this. So grateful that you guys have been here and just watching with me, and just, you know, hopefully you're drawing too, finding illustrations that stand out to you, and learn from them, because I think it's so helpful. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me, and have an excellent weekend. Until I see you next time, be grateful, live balanced, and be yourself. See you next time.